Okay, so for the first of these little tea chats, I am joined by my very good friend and frequent collaborator, Serina Covarrubias. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we've known each other for over 17 years now. And after working on a lot of little projects here and there, some that got finished, some that didn't, we completed a feature film together that we co-directed called In Between the Mountains and the Ocean. Um, I feel like I've talked at length about the history of that film, and I'm sure we'll continue to. Is there like, is there like a place where like people can go to like, I don't know if any of us have posted like a description or whatever of like how the film came to be, like that sits in.
No, in fact, we should do just a podcast about that. We should just talk about that because we did do an interview for one of the festivals, and we did talk about it, but for whatever reason that, and we'll get into this in a second, that festival did not release the interviews
Yeah,
from that festival. I'm not sure why, but they didn't.
yeah.
So yeah, no, we haven't really gone to there's no like really great recording of us talking about that, but we should definitely do that.
Yeah, we'll do that like
But
closer to the like release when that's available to for people to watch to kind of like act as like some background story for that of people that want to know more, or maybe right before the release of that. But
yeah.
today, given where we are, I don't know if you realize this, because I don't talk to you about it, but as of this recording, in about 5.5 hours, people will be able to submit their films to year number two of the the Long Beach Underground Film Festival.
No, I did not realize that at all. That's pretty great. That's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah, submissions open December 1st. That is going to be our yearly thing. So I figured we would talk about not necessarily the production or the concept or the behind the scenes of our film, but our little festival journey. Um, just to to have a little bit of synergy with that. So I guess what we will say is that this the process of this film, like the origins go back 10 years now, which is kind of crazy. And once we finally got it together and got it shot, when did we okay, so when did we have a first like real edit of the film done? Because COVID kind of
I don't
derailed
know.
us.
Yeah, I don't know. It was post-pandemic. So, we actually got, I think the film was edited in 2020. I think we actually did get through an edit of it, but then it sat for a while. If we didn't actually start submitting to festivals until 2023, spring of 2023. Um, so
Yeah.
that we didn't, yeah, so it kind of sat there and then it kind of languished and it took us a long while for various reasons, including the fact that I got super sick. But yeah, our festival journey though, which is what we're about to talk about, began in 2023 as we started submitting to festivals. And for those people who have never submitted their film to a film festival, you're usually doing it about somewhere between 3 to 6 months out from when that festival will commence. So that's when you're doing most of your submissions, and most movies plan for a 2 to 3 festival submission run. That's fairly common. But as we found out, because we had aimed to do this movie before COVID had happened, and when COVID hit, we lost a lot of indie film festivals. A lot of them just bit the dust.
Yeah,
Um,
that's actually I'm really glad you brought that up because again with another tie-in is I think I had an idea to make my own film festival for years. And when COVID happened and we lost our main like kind of like international like our main film festival in Long Beach was just gone. And after that, like a couple of in its place, a couple of smaller film festivals popped up, and I popped up with them. So so that kind of like ties in even more to what I was doing. But yeah, so the during the pandemic kind of came, and then 2020, 2021, like yeah, stuff was just getting scrapped left and right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel bad for all the other movies too that were held back during that time or were set to be released during that time. Everybody got screwed. But ours, you know, it took a little bit longer again because I got sick. But we started submitting, and it would be a year before we got into anything at
I
all.
want to say, I want to say even more.
Yeah, probably
Like,
like a year and a
be,
half.
yeah, because we started in January of 2023, and
Oh, uh-huh.
and I have a feeling it wasn't. And then January 2024 came around. We had been submitting to festivals for an entire year. Still nothing. And I don't want to necessarily say the wrong message because you know, believe in your films for sure. But I felt like at a certain point, it's just like when when do we actually stop? Like, when do we stop doing this? You know,
I
uh,
didn't stop. I mean, I think you spiritually stopped at one point, but I didn't stop. I kept submitting. And
you're
because it's
you,
hard.
yeah, it is hard. It's like, and I'm like, I, I'm, it's, I feel like in that aspect, like at least I'm definitely the more fragile of us two because I was, and maybe because you've been an actor and you're used to rejection.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no.
But like
That's the name of the game, huh?
directors are not used to that much rejection. So
I don't know. You still get a lot of rejection as a director. You get your time, and that time is festivals. Um,
right, right.
yeah, no, I agree. It's rough. It's rough when you've been rejected like again and again and again. And first off, I'm going to start by saying that we actually did not submit to as many festivals as I see most people submit to.
Hmm.
We actually really pared down how many festivals we were submitting to. So it wasn't nearly as many as what I see some people submit to. I see easily some people submit to at least 100 festivals.
Yeah,
And one of the things that we discovered, and we did go out of our way to be thoughtful on who we were submitting to because we didn't have unlimited money.
yeah,
By the way, filmmakers, you're gonna budget to make a movie. You better budget twice as much as you know the same amount it took to make your movie is how much you at least should be paying on marketing.
yeah, no
So
doubt.
that's something that you definitely need to keep in mind because we did not keep that in mind at all. So we were really stretched. So we were very careful about how much we were submitting to. But that being said, I did not, and I don't think you did, have as much comprehension as to the level of politics on some of these seemingly not as big festivals, but still, you know, middle grade festivals.
Hmm.
Uh, it is rough. If you don't know a programmer, if you don't have an in with these popular festivals, not
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
feature. Not for a feature. You might make it in as a short. You might
right.
have a chance as a short. And because they have more programming spaces, but it is tough as a feature. It is very, very tough. And I think we just did not fully understand that. So there were some mistakes we made where we submitted too late sometimes.
Yeah,
And we didn't reach out personally to like festival directors. We did go out of our way to you know, to mention them and we did research them and mention them.
yeah,
But I think that it was a huge learning experience on that front because I don't know if other filmmakers understand that a lot of these festivals, when they're getting ready to go, there have been people who have already reached out on the side before they've even seen people's movies come through Film Freeway. There are producers that are touching with, you know, festival directors and saying, "Hey, I got something coming out. I'd like it to be in this festival."
Yeah, and I think it's I'm not gonna say the order was wrong because one thing fed into the other and the other one fed back. But after doing my own film festival, we had our first year this year. I learned like how filmmakers act. But I think because we had gone through, you know, the rejections and the mistakes leading up to us getting into film festivals, that I learned how to treat the filmmakers that were submitting. So it's like, yeah, I wish I knew what I knew as a festival director when I was submitting to film festivals, but I also needed to know the director side for me to run our event as well as it did. Um, but I think like to agree with you, like yeah, some of the filmmakers had reached out to me and I had posted about the festival on like Reddit and stuff and on Instagram and people had found us that way. And the people who had reached out to us ahead of time, that definitely give you a leg up because at least I know who you are. And
Yep.
it doesn't mean I was going to automatically let their film in, but we're such a vibes film festival that like I think it helped me like kind of be like, okay, well, this is the type of person I want around. So I think what we could have done better for our film was being a little more building a little more connection with the programming directors or festival directors or whatever.
Yeah, we didn't know that. And I think and I want to ask you a question in a second.
Mm,
But I think that from the filmmaker's point of view, you really want to do that. I mean, the ones that we inevitably got in with, we knew another filmmaker who had gotten into that festival.
right.
And we used them as a touch point, as a point of, hey, they said your festival is really good.
Yeah.
And we're reaching out, like so. Another recommendation that we had heard, and I absolutely think you should do this, is always email the festival first
Yeah.
and make sure that they are checking their emails, that they are communicating, that they are reaching out, that they are actually there because of the sheer amount of scam festivals that exist now. It's really tough. There did not used to be this many scam festivals. There are
Yeah.
so many now.
Yeah.
So many scam festivals. But the question that I have for you, Richard, because I'm really interested to hear this,
Yeah.
is as a festival director yourself,
Mm.
what things would you tell other filmmakers who are starting their journey of submitting to festivals?
I think I think trying to reach out to film, to you can find people that'll tell you besides us that you should talk to the festival directors and the programming directors, and that is definitely a thing. But really pay attention to the types of films that have been programmed before. And I know this was our first year, so it's not applicable to me, but I felt, and maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like I was very clear in the description of our festival about what it is and what we were looking for. And some submissions came in that looked really nice and they're kind of funny, but we're not a festival that's going to program a lot of sketch comedy type stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
This is the
I wanted to reach out to those people and be like, brother, you got to save your money. Like, like don't just blanket submit to everything. Like, you know,
yeah.
our acceptance rate was pretty high because I think people got it, but there was a few people I'm like, okay, this was a well put together film, but this is not the right place for it. There's definitely a place for it. So, and if you have any questions like about if a festival is right for you, then talk to the people who have, you know, everyone leaves like a paper trail. Like you can
Uh-huh.
see the movies that have played there. You can see the interactions if you go to their social media pages. Do that work. And it's not just about saving yourself money, even though that's important, but it's about making the most out of your money and making the most out of your time. Like spend the time to research it and you will increase your chance of getting in to the festivals. And if you're selective and use that to kind of like figure out what where the types of films that are like yours are going. Um, I think that's like the biggest advice I can do. And I think what you said is also true though. Like, especially if the festival is going to respond to you, really talk to them because we love hearing from you. Like it's kind of cool. It's cool when people interact with us. Like I personally love it, and if a festival director doesn't like that, then
Yeah,
they're
what are you
probably in the
doing?
wrong business. Yeah. And
Yeah,
if
what are
they
you
yeah, if
doing?
they don't, and if they do give you the cold shoulder, it's like that might not be the festival for you either. Like um,
Yeah,
unless
yeah,
you
no,
really like that
definitely.
vibe. But I want to move on to the main festivals that we screened at. Um,
Yeah, so we screened at, let's see, one, two, three, four. So three, not including yours, that would be four. And then we have one festival that we were accepted into, which we will talk about,
yeah,
but we do not list it on anything at this time for a very good reason.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I want to talk
but
about all
yeah,
five at least a little bit,
yeah.
including
So
ours.
yeah, let's go in order. Let's start at the
Yes.
first one. So the first one we actually got into was a true indie festival. It was at what was the theater in Beverly Hills? It's
Fuck.
now been redone. It looks nice.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. When we screened at it, the seats weren't all the way in.
Oh, I know.
The like screen was falling apart. I'm glad they've gotten money. It's a really cool festival.
I'm gonna be
Luminaire,
that
I
annoying.
think it's
I think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, the Luminaire Festival. So it does screen a lot of indie films. So we got into a festival there. It was called the Visionaries Film Festival. We were very grateful to actually get in because again, at that point, we had been rejected so many times. We were just happy to see it up
Yeah,
there.
I think the thing, this isn't like a festival review or anything, but this is just about our journey. The things I liked about it was obviously like it's, the first time you get to see her film is always special. And, and to see it like in front of an audience. I thought it was the quality of the video and sound was pretty good, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, no, that was good. It was nice to be with other actual indie filmmakers
Mhm.
there, and they absolutely did have a distribution company that was present
That
there
was
watching the
nice. That
movies.
was probably, I think, the number one plus for that festival was that they had a distributor there, and you pulled us over there. But how were you aware that he was there and who he was?
They had actually sent an email. They had sent an email saying that there was going to be somebody there, which, point to them, because they not every festival actually has them present in the audience, but they did.
Yeah,
And so I just had a hunch. I saw the way he was dressed, and I can pick people out pretty quick. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the guy. Um,
yeah, and I think I will say that like uh for anything I didn't like about that festival, it definitely was exactly what he meant it to be. And the festival director there. And and the fact that he was providing his filmmakers with a chance to meet a distributor. I mean, I didn't do that. So, but I was going for a different vibe. But the fact that he did like, that provides a good service to any filmmaker. So that was kind of cool. And that did open doors for us. Um, we got to start taking meetings basically from there, and that kind of
yeah,
snowballed into where we're going to be next year. Um, you know,
yeah, yeah. So that was
foreshadowing.
a foreshadowing. Yeah. So that was a really good experience. It was really nice to have a distributor tell us that they really enjoyed the movie. It was really nice to listen to the audience react to the movie. That was really important. That was the first time we were doing that. And it was just nice to be there with peers, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
and it's the first time some of our cast and crew got to go there.
yep. Yeah, it was the first time some of them had
Handful.
met.
Yeah, so that was oh yeah. Had Lazat ever met Jesus Christ. What is
Lexi?
Lexi? I was like, what is it's not Rebecca, that's the character. Um
No, he had
yeah, they
not
never
met
shared a
Lexi in
seat
the film.
together, that's right.
Yeah, no. It was supposed to be the first point that Angel, who plays Queen Emily, was supposed to be there, but unfortunately, Angel got sick, so he couldn't make it. And I still haven't met Angel in person, by the way, which is really funny.
That's funny. That
Um,
is funny.
but yeah, so that was really nice. Afterwards there was like a mixer. We went to the mixer and I hung out with I met another director from the
Yep.
Sacramento area. She was super nice. We ended up talking like outside of the festival after that, and she had made another recommendation of the Poppy Jasper Festival, by the way. We did not get in that festival, but I highly recommend that festival. That festival director is amazing and really cares because she actually reached out to give us free tickets to go. Even though we didn't make it in. Unfortunately, we couldn't go at the time because of
Yeah.
what happened the following year. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a very cool thing, and she was really great to talk to, and she just talks to you, you know?
Yeah. And then
Um,
yeah. So that was that. I mean, did you have something else to say about Visionaries?
nope, nope. I think that's that.
Then
Yeah, we did.
it would be another 5 months before we went to another one.
Yes, but we found out about that one within a month. Because in October we found out we were going to Idlewild.
Yeah.
So how we even entered Idlewild was I think just a little bit before the Visionaries Festival. I met an actor, writer, producer
Mm.
who lived in Altadena. That's where I live. Well, not at the moment, but that's where I
Right.
live.
Well,
Um, and she told me that Idlewild was an amazing indie festival. And I was like, oh, okay. And I submitted to them, just being like, sure, I'll
yeah.
submit. So, so we submitted, not really sure, if we would get in or not. And then in October, we found out we got in. And we wouldn't go to that festival until March,
Yeah.
but we were really excited because it's a pretty nice festival.
Yeah, so okay. I've I've talked about this in other places, but I think this is the time to like really get into this a little bit. I I was excited to get into like a solid middle-sized festival. Now, in my brain, which is totally I think it's this was a reasonable thing to think. Like we had only gotten into one festival to this point out of however many we had submitted to. And it was a pretty small one, so I'm like, okay, this is great, but we're kind of just gonna be like the little fish here, you know? And
Richard started gaslighting himself.
I
That is essentially what happened, is Richard
well,
kept not believing that it was real. I'm just gonna straight up tell you guys.
but it's like but like
He
this
was
is I don't
he was
think
a
you
real
could
pain in the ass. But yeah.
I don't think you can blame me for this one because I wasn't even downplaying our film. I'm just like, hey, this is a bigger film festival. Like, what are the chances like we're gonna get any real recognition? And our first screening, you know, I wasn't depressed about it, but I didn't even think of anything of it. But there was, we were playing at like kind of like the small theater, like in a community space outside of the main strip, and it's only a handful of people got to watch it. Um, but I was excited in the screening. I was happy to make the trip, and then I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I had to go back home. I went back and forth. So I went back home during the week of the festival. I worked a couple shifts and literally wrapped up my shift. Like I came home on a Thursday, worked my shift that night, worked my shift Friday, worked my shift Saturday, got in my car after work and came back to the festival. Missed our
Uh,
second screening, but I,
wait, hold up.
oh,
You,
you're
you
right.
first
You're
off,
right.
you jumped. You didn't say that
It,
we were already into the festival. So he's talking about Idlewild at this point.
oh yeah.
So we got into Idlewild. Richard was didn't even I booked a thankfully an Airbnb at that time that had enough room for Richard to stay with us.
Yeah.
Um, so because Richard didn't even book anything, he didn't even know whether or not he was going. So fast forward to January.
Okay.
And, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get him a DCP. We got to work this out. Altadena catches fire. And
Yes.
that's when I have to hand the reins over to Richard in a mess, just being like, follow up with them. I have to deal with some shit. Like, and so during that time, we didn't see emails coming in from the festival.
Yeah.
And we did miss getting our DCP. So we actually did not at Idlewild, we did not see um we did not see it play at the Rustic, which
Right.
sucked. You
Yeah.
know, it would have been really wonderful to have seen it there play at the Rustic because the Rustic's a beautiful theater. But we didn't. So fast forward to March, which is when Idlewild happens, and Richard's debating. He's going to come down during the week, as he just said. And so he comes down during the week and he stays with us. We're there for the whole week.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a kerfuffle because we didn't have any snow clothes and it was supposed to snow. We didn't have any clothes. We were like so fucked at that point. So we had to like run around and figure that shit out.
I think I
Luckily,
lent somebody a
yep,
jacket or
you let some
something.
gloves and a jacket. Thank
Yeah.
goodness. We got gloves and a jacket from Richard. Yeah, we had rescued some shoes that were in a plastic container, so thankfully they did not get ash damaged. But yeah, so that was like, so Kevin and I had our docks. That's pretty
Mhm.
much was it.
Yeah, so you're right,
Um,
you're right. I did jump ahead, but now I'm gonna jump into where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, so
Um,
here we go. We've been there the week and we had sorry, not to interrupt you, but are you going to jump into the part where we got they were so gracious and they gave us Idlewild first off was amazing.
yeah.
They when they found out the fire had happened, they gave us a free ad. They gave us
Mm, yeah, they're very
a
gracious.
podcast interview. They were amazing. They were very supportive of what had happened.
Yeah.
Um
So
so Richard and I
yeah,
go
the
ahead.
podcast interview. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to get
yeah, yeah.
into. It was
The podcast interview.
that was because that was a fantastic moment in our history. And basically we went to record this podcast just a couple hours before our screening. So, we're going into this and I feel like he might have cut out and I understand why. Like it's not fun for anyone but us, but he might have cut out the a big chunk of the money moment where he told us live on the podcast, he said, "Hey, can we let's talk about your nominations?" And
Oh yeah.
you and I both look at each other and we're like, What?"
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was just long for us, but it felt like you could have driven a train through the space of us, blinking into the silence, just being like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah, which is always
Because,
funny to me because I was on my podcast game. I'm like, "All right, let's do this." And then that
oh
question
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. We were like having fun and stuff. We were like ready, and then pop.
yeah.
And yeah, so the basically our answer was, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "Let's talk about your nominations." And we were like, "I'm sorry, what nominations?"
Yeah.
Because we didn't know at
Yeah.
that point, and this was like a few days into the festival.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
Um, and so he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys have actually been nominated for a lot of things."
Yeah, and he let drop too. He's like, "Oh yeah, so and so can't start talking about your film." And they're like, "Huh." And I still don't know who this person is, but there is a
I
person.
do,
And
I do. I friended them on LinkedIn.
okay.
She's pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, he kept saying that. We're just kind of being like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thank you." We're just
Yeah.
shocked by the interaction. So we kind of skip over that when we're talking, and he ended up having a little bit of a technical difficulty at the time. So I don't think we really had much of a full interview.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit there. But it was really amazing to have somebody like him compliment us on this movie and everything that we had done because we thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
totally.
we
Yeah, at the end of
thought
the day, like
we
I don't want to leave the wrong impression. Like I think we did a good job and I've consistently thought that. Like we did really good. So,
Yeah, it's just really hard as a filmmaker when no one else sees you, right?
yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, maybe I was wrong. You start asking yourself those questions. And without knowing all this other stuff, like the politics involved, like I would say Idlewild out of most of the festivals, and Poppy Jasper was definitely similar to this. they are a filmmakers festival. They are
Yeah.
old school filmmakers festival, and they really do watch your movie. And I cannot say that about most of the big festivals at all.
Yeah.
I can't. And I can tell you because we had analytics and tracking
Yeah.
on this screener. We saw every time they did or did not abandoned or scrubbed, we saw it.
Yeah.
Um, and I highly recommend you do that because it's eye-opening. But yeah, so anyway, so we heard that and we're like, oh my God. And so then there was a debate. There was a debate for a couple different reasons. One, there was going to be a snowstorm.
Hmm.
And two, Richard was like, I have to go to work.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of like, okay, so we went to our screening and that was fine. And, we had a good Q&A, even though there's just a couple people in the audience. But I think like I was on the fence just like, how am I gonna pull this off? But there was something there was something nagging on me. I'm like, okay, this is and I had to work the next day too. Like I had to come back and work another shift on a Sunday. But I'm like, something yeah, it was gonna be like physically like exhausting. But something in my brain's like, okay, it boiled down to this. Like if I if I go and we don't win anything, then whatever, and then whatever, it's a fun experience. But if I don't go and we do win something, because we had won no awards at this point, and I'm like, if I go and we do win something, then I am going to regret that for like a long, long time. So I came back.
Yeah.
I came back. I drove back after my shift, and that was the one of the weirdest fucking nights of my life, Serena. It's like they,
Yeah, you weren't there for the screening in the morning. I took
yeah,
that. So yeah, it was weird because we came back and I remember us trying to convince Lisa to go.
yeah,
We were like, but she couldn't. And we were like, oh, Lisa. Um, but Lazat went.
yeah,
And Mike was there, and obviously Kevin was there, and the two dogs who were in the movie were there.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so Richard shows up. He like sneaks in, like I think maybe like an hour before it was supposed to begin. You just like whew, he sinking missile
Yeah.
into this award ceremony. Um, and so we don't know what order that this starts to become a thing. And by the way, we only have a few minutes
I
left.
know. I'll,
Uh,
I'll, I'll start over and we'll edit it.
we'll
But yeah,
start over. Yeah. But anyway, so there's all of us there, but for our side of it, um, I keep asking what order the awards are gonna go in because we have a situation because our dog Dusty, who is in the movie, has something called megaesophagus. He can't be left alone. So literally one of us had to rotate
yeah.
with him in the car the whole time during this award ceremony. So we're doing that, trying to figure out who's gonna go next, what's gonna happen. So the first things that Richard and I think that okay, we got a good chance of is
Sound
sound
design.
design.
Yeah,
Yeah, we think we have a real good chance of that because there's no soundtrack that is essentially
yeah.
sings for sales on sound design. So we
Mhm.
think okay, there's a good chance of that. So sound design comes, sound design goes, we don't even get Vanguard. We're like, well, it was nice, you
Yeah.
know?
And at that point,
And
I was pretty relaxed. I was like, okay, this is cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. And so the next one that comes up is costume. And we think, oh, there might be a chance because the costumes in Richard's section were actually
yeah.
pretty good. And so we were like, oh, maybe a chance. It comes, it goes. Nope, we don't get that. So
Mhm.
all right, there's the two. Okay, we were basically like,
Yeah.
okay, we're not gonna win anything. And the next one that comes up is editing. And so we hear editing. They announced, by the way, Idlewild awards Vanguard and the awards. The runner-up is called out, is awarded. Um, so they call out Vanguard. Nope. Okay, I'm just kind of like
Yeah.
recording just in case. And then they call out us for editing, for best editing of a feature film.
Mhm.
I get so fucking excited because it's my husband
Yeah.
just one. I get so fucking excited I stopped recording the video. my poor husband. I didn't catch his speech because I got too
Yeah.
freaked out. We're like over the moon. My husband goes up there
Hmm.
and is all like, I didn't expect to win
Yeah.
this. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, so that was that. And then what was next? Cinematography, I want to
Uh,
say.
yes, I believe next was cinematography. But before then, I just want to say another filmmaker went up to Kevin in the bathroom later that night and was all like, "Man, that was such a real acceptance speech. Good one." And Kevin was like, yeah, because I really didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the next one was up. I think the next one that was up was it? I can't remember if it was cinematography or best acting, but it was let's say it was cinematography, I think.
Mhm.
And so we hear Vanguard. I'm recording now because now I don't know. Everything's in play. I don't know. I'm recording now, and so what happens is Vanguard, nothing. Okay, okay, okay. And then they call us out for best cinematography, and Richard and I have to go up there and accept it on behalf of our two DPs.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Again, the cinematography in this movie is chef's kiss. Like that we
Yeah.
didn't, this is old school. There's no CGI, there's none of that shit. This was
Yeah.
all us and locations and gumption.
And then yeah, and then at this point, I'm happy. Like I wish Mike would have won sound design. I still maintain that the reason he didn't is because they couldn't possibly know like how much
ADR, he
ADR we
did.
had to insert that film because he did such a good job.
He
So
did.
yeah, so at that point, I'm like I'm happy for Kevin and Lisa and Brett because they all deserve the awards we get. So, and again, I'm still like coasting. I'm like, okay, well, this is cool, but this has to be it, right? Like, there's no, I can't see like I know what we're nominated for, but I can't see us fitting in any other thing. And
Yeah, and we
then
take a couple hits too, because they start announcing we're really
yeah,
like rooting for Lazat. Like, we're like, come on, Lazat.
yeah,
Um, uh, we're hoping for him for best supporting actor. All of we had nominations for all of those categories, so we're rooting. We don't get best supporting actress,
yeah,
and then
and
Lazat loses to a Baldwin.
right. So at that point, it's like,
Doesn't
okay,
even show up.
yeah,
And so we're sad about that. And then, all of a sudden they call out Best Supporting Actress to Abby. And I was like, holy shit. Because Abby is not in the entire feature. She is only in like about, she's in the entire first half of the first story of the
yeah.
feature, but maybe like about 50% of the feature. She's not in the whole feature. And so she had to beat out people who were in whole features for that award. So at that point, I accept Abby's award, and we're just like, I think I don't even think we're in our bodies at this point.
Well, it's still like again, it's like good. Like it's Kevin, it's Lisa and Brett, it's Abby. It's like cool. Like that's like, and I don't know. I'm not inherently a pessimistic person. Like I'm actually more optimistic than anything. But I'm just like, but I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, well, this has to end, right? Like this has to.
That's the end.
Somewhere it's like how like 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 how much can this night continue to just like how many times are we going to hear our name like from now on? And we weren't even halfway there. Um,
No, in fact, I skipped over when we won Best Ensemble because Mike and Alex went up and got
yeah, I
accepted the
think that
award. They looked
happened.
at us. That happened before Best
Was
Actress.
it? Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was happened before, and they look at us and we're like, no, no, you're the ensemble. This is your award, and we send them up there.
Which is
Although I
like
guess technically I was too, but I wanted them to go. Um,
well, and also like we couldn't top their acceptance speech anyways
Oh
if
no, no, like at this point, Richard and we flunked acceptance speech school. We were too fucking shocked to
my
do
last
a
one
good
my last one
acceptance
is
speech.
my last one was memorable, but I won't say it was good. But I like that Lazat comes up and gives like such a not in a bad way, but such like your standard like acceptance speech where he hits all the beats and
So
then
polished, so polished.
and
Like they
Mike
did, they did
and Mike
such a
just
beautiful
stand
job.
Mike just stands off to the side like holding the award above his head.
It was the cutest thing ever. I did get that on video. I got to release that, but it was, yeah, it was. Lazat did a beautiful job. Like he had trained for it his whole life. Like just did a great job with that. And so then we move on to best feature film. And at this point, Richard, oh no, we move on to best director.
Yeah.
And they call out Vanguard and we get Vanguard.
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
Even that
Now
was like,
Vanguard,
yeah,
yeah, even that was
Vanguard's
just like,
basically runner
whoa.
up, and I'm just still just like, okay, now now it's hitting because I'm like that. What really like because even though yeah, even though it's runner up, I'm like that's me, that's you, that's like that's our work, and I'm like, oh okay, and luckily we don't have to give a speech for that.
No, we
Um,
didn't, because Vanguard didn't get speeches.
yeah.
But yeah, we were happy to just go up there, take our picture, and go our merry way on that one. And so we get to the point where Best Picture is
Mhm.
up. And I'll be honest with you, and you can from what we've talked about previously, Richard, I think you agree. We didn't think ever.
Yeah.
We didn't think we had a chance in hell. Just so you know. We didn't there were movies with 30 times our budget
Sure. Quite.
that had name actors in
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
There was like no fucking way. You know, and we had just been happy to be there. It was just wonderful to be there, to see people watch it, to have that Q&A. I'll be honest with you, as a filmmaker, the Q&A is worth everything.
Mhm.
That right there, that you want
Yeah.
to interact with people who enjoy your movie.
Yeah.
And that so at this point we're just you don't even hope, you don't even wish, you don't even breathe. You're just like, okay. And so we wait. And the funny part is that the Vanguard winner starts within.
No,
So at
no, no,
first,
no, no. It doesn't, which is important because oh no, it does, right? And he thinks
it does
it's
IN.
yeah.
IN. So so they're like in, and we're like, oh, us? Invisible was the
Yeah.
Vanguard. It wasn't us.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, when we hear that we don't get Vanguard, I know, I kind of look at Richard, and I know in my head, I'm like, okay, well, that was nice.
Mhm.
I'm like, that was cool. All right, we can go home now. And then they announce Best Picture, and it's us.
Yeah.
And I had to keep asking one of the program directors if we're supposed to go up on stage again because I was so like, I was like, do you want to hear us make another speech?
And then so much, yeah, and then like I don't know, like yeah, and so we do go up there, and that's great, and I think that's the point where I started looking at the audience. I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of people in this room, and yeah, and then but then we went up there two more times. Like we got the jury prize,
Yeah, we got jury prize.
and we
We
got
got
oh, what was the
best
name of that?
the
Humanitarian, whatever
Doug
the human.
Austin Humanitarian Award for Narrative. So
Yeah.
because of the story. Um, yeah, we were just at the point, the two awards after, I kind of had stopped paying attention because I didn't even know they existed. I didn't know that
Yeah.
that was a thing. And so it kept catching. I didn't even record the announcements for those two.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yeah, because we didn't know, and it's like so all in all, it's like yeah, we got six wins and one Vanguard, and yeah, I think
Technically, that would be 7 wins and one Vanguard.
Mhm.
But
uh
yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
we
it's
I know the last time I went up, like I probably sounded like an asshole, but I was really still in shock. Whereas like I said something like hey, it's us again.
no, I don't think you sound like an asshole. I think you were just like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody, there are people who came up to me the next day and talked to me, and they said that I guess we were cute. Because we were so shocked. We didn't know what else. We were just
Well, I know
like,
like
oh,
right behind us, I got like there was a gay couple. I got like a gay stamp of approval, and that,
Oh yeah.
which always means everything when they're just like, "You guys are so adorable." I'm like, "Yes."
Because again, we just like stumbled through it, and thank the gods that we didn't record. Someone might have recorded it, but I hope it. I hope it never sees the light of day because it's hands down the worst speeches we probably ever will ever have given.
Yeah,
Um,
because now it's like, okay, you gotta like, you can do both. You can be humble and also like have something prepared.
yeah, you can be both.
Um, yeah,
Little
that's
did
the
we
thing I
know.
learned. I think we've talked about it a lot probably because it's the most important, but I'm gonna nudge us along. Um, next was Long
So
Beach,
yeah,
right?
yeah, next was Long Beach. So at that point, I kind of been winding down. I really wasn't submitting to anything more.
Mm,
I had submitted to a few more things now that we had won and asked for waivers to try and get us into something that was even more local, but nope, not at all. We got turned down from everyone, uh, well, including one that I thought we might have gotten into, but nope,
yeah.
didn't work out for any of those. That was fine. And then so Richard was going to have Long Beach. So I was like, well, that's great. This will be nice to show it again before we decide to go with distribution. And so that was really lovely because all of Richard's family was there
Mm.
and the whole gang was there. And just watching it kind of together with another audience was really wonderful, honestly. And that was a beautiful experience, especially for your first festival. It was so nice to have a movie to play.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like the one thing I'll say about my festival was that I think it kind of rounded out the well, based on what was coming on the our one of our last screenings, but it rounded up the type of venues we had played in because we had played in a small theater, um, we had played in like a community room. Now we're playing in like this activist space where we're literally projecting our movie onto the wall. Um, and then all we had to do, which we ended up doing, was play in a large theater with
Yeah,
like the real
yeah.
sound. So it's like, and they're all special to me in their own ways. Like I think it's like it's kind of cool, like the vibes of like, I mean, where we screened at Long Beach was, people were literally like sitting on couches and stuff, Um, we shot at this like activist space right down the street from me. Um, and I think that was awesome. I was so happy to host us because that was always part of the intention was like it's not the reason I created a film festival just to screen our film, but I knew that once I did do the film festival that I was going to show the films of my friends and I because I think that's what people do. I was just upfront about it. I literally called our block, sweet sweet
Nepotism.
nepotism. Yeah. Um, as I wasn't hiding it, it was like, okay, well, this is where me and my friends, and we'll continue to do that as long as like, I mean, but now it's kind of nice because the nepotism part will probably just be, some filmmakers who have played before, and people we've met. So, um, yeah, so we did that, and it was good, and now
Yeah,
I
that was
think,
nice and different people got to see it. Again, that was our local one at the time, so
yeah,
that was really great. And so I figure at that point that we're pretty much done with there's like maybe a handful left to hear
yeah,
back from. And then I get a call from Peter over at the Silicon Beach Film Festival, who, by the way, he also was in the fire as well, except he was in the Palisades.
mm,
So his house and our house ended up, the house that's in the movie, ended up in the same situation where his house was the only one to make it in an entire area,
yeah,
just like ours. And so he had seen our submission for, I think, Malibu. And he's like, I'm sorry, yours didn't get into Malibu. We lost a day out of the theater. And so we had
right,
to cut a bunch of movies. And I just want to tell you, I have another festival. Are you still looking for a place to play? And I said, yes. He's like, it's at the Chinese Theater. And I was like, amazing.
yeah,
So we got a showing at the Chinese Theater.
yeah, and that was awesome, and I think, I didn't get to spend a lot of time at that festival, and I think, I find there's a correlation between how big a festival is and how much like attention you get. And that's not necessarily criticism to anybody. It's just like when you're showing lots of films and you're big, it's like hard to like sift through all the, all the different noise and so many people coming in and out. We're compared to like Long Beach or even Idlewild, where, you know, you're a lot closer and everything's kind of small, but the TCL theater is huge and people are coming in and out all day. Uh, but the cool thing was, I don't think we'll ever see our film like with such good picture and such good sound.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that was incredible. That was definitely the last thing I had said to Richard. I was like, I just want to play on a big screen. I
yeah,
just want to see what we did. I just want to see what it
and
looks
around it
like.
out, and like I'm like, man, just again, I'm like Mike's fucking sound design. I'm just like Jesus Christ, like so good,
Yeah.
so fucking good, and to hear it on those
Yeah.
speakers,
Yeah, and
and
there was only us. There was like hardly anybody actually saw it. So
right,
it was us, like the other filmmakers who actually shot in film
Mhm.
before us. They had a really cool looking short.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it. It had to do with like snow.
yeah,
But yeah, so they were in the theater too. We had some friends come and watched it, and but for us it was amazing to watch, to hear it, to see it, and to see how beautiful the movie looked on a big screen
yeah,
because we had not really gotten to see it on a screen of that size.
yeah.
Um
And then we picked up one more award.
we did. We
We
went
did.
to we went to the award show. I got a call from Peter. He's like, I highly recommend that you go. And we're like, oh, okay. And so we show up, literally, Lisa Tom, like 15 minutes
But
before they announce our award, which we
yeah,
didn't know. We didn't know what we were nominated for. So we were just listening to all the words, really uncertain. But 15 minutes
yeah,
before
yeah,
Lisa Tom shows up, and what does she get? Another award for her cinematography.
yeah,
So that was we were very proud of that. That was amazing. And again, Lisa and Brett did such an incredible job. So the fact that they have gotten as much love as they have at these festivals is definitely a compliment to them. And they were really great to work with. So yeah, you'll
yeah.
need a cinematographer.
Exactly. Yeah, please, by all means, like, yeah, contact us. We'll put you in touch. But yeah, I think that goes back to another part of the question you asked me earlier. Like, if if a festival director starts asking if you're going to show up to an awards ceremony, you should probably
There's a
show up
reason.
because I was like,
To probably show your ass up.
for my awards ceremony, I was really trying to like without telling them they're winning. I'm like, you might want to come down here. And then I'm like, is anyone on your team going to be at this award? So I was like sending out emails throughout the week. Once I had picked the winners, or once me and Hilbert had picked out the winners, I was like, yeah, I was blasting emails out. And yeah, a couple of the people didn't show up, but that's okay. We still had fun. Um, I let people, you weren't there, but I said if the winner's not here, then anybody who wants to accept the award can accept it. So a couple again, people are game. Like people come up and they accepted the award on behalf, especially like the dudes who had like, you know, I choose because I'm talking about a couple people in particular, but people who had seen a lot of the films, they actually knew the films we were referencing. So I know like I think our good Mr. Lewis, our little adopted son from the festival from France. I believe he came up and accepted the award from for the best actress, I think. Um, so that was kind of cool. Uh, yeah, so that was yeah, show up to the awards, especially if the festival
Yeah.
director asked you because they
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it could be a scam. I don't we're running long. I don't think we need to end on negative notes here.
No, I mean, I do want to end on some things though. I do want to say
Yeah,
some lessons learned. First off, shout out. I did not say this at the beginning, but I do want to say this now. We actually got an honorable mention from the Chicano Hollywood Film Festival. It was in its first year. It looks like they weren't, I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like they weren't showing any features.
right.
So maybe that's why we got them. So we got free tickets to it. So I did attend there. So that was very cool. Um, but I think kind of like lessons learned from a festival. Yes, there was an additional festival that we did get into that we are not going to, who is going to remain nameless.
Yeah.
Um, because this is how this, sorry, Dusty has something to say. Um, this is how this particular situation went down. I just want to say it as a warning to everybody listening.
Mm.
And Dusty will continue to add his 2 cents.
Yeah.
Um, uh, they, I have some words for festivals who stay in person for the first couple years and
Yeah.
then go online
Mm.
afterwards. Because this particular festival, the only reason we submitted to it is because it was supposed to be in person.
Mhm.
And instead, they're like, oh, well, the awards are in person. And I'm like, okay.
All right.
And then I was like, well, I guess the awards are at least at a theater. And then they weren't. They were
Mm.
at this company's warehouse
Mm.
where they were advertising an LED screen that you could use in your movie. And they told all these filmmakers, oh, we strongly suggest, they did the thing where they know that we understand that we need to show up because we are nominated for something. So they're like, oh, first they nominated us and then they didn't tell us what we were nominated for. And then they said, we strongly recommend you show up, which is
Yeah.
communication for you're about to win something.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with all these filmmakers who have shown up and have been told the same thing, only to watch and this train wreck of a situation, AI announcer announcing on this LED screen
Hmm.
while they live stream it,
Hmm.
um, to filmmakers that, for the most part, have been preordained to win.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
though it was very clear on one of these movies that was actually also at the Silicon Beach Film Festival that the producer had bought
Hmm.
this award. And I have never been so disgusted by a film festival, which is why we pulled it. And so I just want to say that there are absolutely, scammy ass film festivals that will do that shit. So anything that says they're just doing an awards ceremony in person, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't
Well, and
don't
that's
submit
yeah,
to it.
and that's another reason to kind of like look and do your research, but also like I mean, yeah, they can run it for a couple of years and then like but like keep an eye on what they're doing. Try and contact them because yeah, you still might get scammed here and there, but like most people will show their hand if you push them a little bit.
Yeah, this one, and it was an international festival, so I wasn't, I did have some communication with the people there, but you know, they were good. I'm sure this festival will run again on Film Freeway. I did send an email to Film Freeway. They never bothered to respond to me,
Mm,
but I did tell them, and there were several of us who wrote reviews on there
mm,
about it. But I think that, there's a debate on whether or not the online festivals are worth anything. We did not submit to them.
right.
We did not submit to online only festivals. We're going to be VOD when we release the movie next year in
Yeah.
January. By the way, it's going to release in January.
Yep.
But I don't mind having like a fe in-person festival and an online festival at the same time so people don't have to travel to see it. That's great. But to have an only online festival, it's just not for me. And it's not for us. So the whole purpose is for us to listen to the audience, to take Q&A, to have that interaction. Otherwise, it's just not worth our time.
Yeah. And I think yeah, one last promotion for our festival, for my festival. The you probably caught this. We did Q&As for even the short films and everyone got their
Yep,
own
you
Q&A
did.
and I think people appreciated that. So, if my self promotion is check out on Film Freeway. By the time I release this video, it will be submission season. So, I think wrap up your films, submit to the film festivals that work for you, and if it's the Long Beach Underground Film Festival, then please do. I would love to watch your film. And I'm really happy that at all the time that you and I have spent together, that we got to go on this journey together. That our film that you know took a long time to finish, took a long time to find a festival home, is gonna be available for people to see. That's crazy. that's crazy that we were able to do this. And I think I don't know. That's probably a conversation to talk to for another day, but it's just like the festival run specifically was like, even though it wasn't a huge run, like I mean, most of the festivals I screen at my festival are, they're going to only show at a couple film festivals. There are a handful of films, at least three or four that I've been watching them that have been gone to multiple festivals. Astral Plane Drifter has played at
Oh
a
yeah, that one's
ridiculous number
playing.
of festivals.
Yeah, they've played in everything.
Yeah,
Um,
they played a festival like every single week. It seems like since for the past like 3 or 4 months. But and rightfully so. That film's amazing. If I posted on Instagram, if you haven't seen Astral Plane Drifter, like you need to reevaluate your life choices because obviously it's in jest because it's still a very indie film. But if you get a chance to see that film at a film festival near you, you need to do it. It's pretty great. Um, Actually, they are releasing a limited edition Blu-ray, I think, or DVD, like
oh,
coming out
cool.
right now, I think like next week, this week or something. So
Oh, that's very cool.
you might want to check that out too. Um, yeah, but thanks for chatting with me, Serena. I think I'm so happy that we got to go on this adventure together and I'm sure aside from just being friends, our creative paths will cross again. And
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think so. We will be tied together through this movie for quite some time, even after it's released.
yeah, but I'm in like
Um,
other movies or
but
something. Yeah.
but yeah, oh no, no, we will definitely that will definitely be the case. So yeah, in fact, I already shot something again with Lisa Tong
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
Mike.
And me.
So and you.
I'm in the
Oh,
film.
that's right, you are in it. Richard has a cameo
I
in
have
it.
a voice cameo, yeah.
He
So
does. He
yeah,
does have a
look
cameo in
out
it,
look
and
out.
it will be playing somewhere between January 7th and January 10th at the Ashes to Films Film Festival. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, that I
Yeah, no.
forgot. Even though I specifically had you in mind for that. Um, so yeah, so this has been cool. We'll do a few more of those guys, and yeah, happy to share our experiences. And I guess Richard, I will see you for coffee later.
Definitely. It's my birthday week, by the way.
That's right. Shit.
Right.
You can hear me. This is how messed up my brain still is after the fire. I can't even remember when
But
anybody's birthdays are. Thank God you just said that.
but yeah, so yeah, this has been our cheat chat. I will get more people on and I am sure I'll drag Serena back onto several of these. So
This is true. This is true. All right, later, everybody.
bye.